selling at Woodward, and just talk a little bit more about the growth of the company, and then of course, answer any questions about the cafe in anticipation of the opening, and really any questions at all that you have about the business. We are at a really, a very exciting juncture for Avalon. We are going to celebrate our 20th anniversary in June, and it's a little hard to believe that we've been doing this for 20 years. This is a driver's getting back from the route. They left here at 3:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30 in the morning. They're back. They're ready to go back to bed, or to go to their other jobs, whatever they all do. So it's a little hard to believe that it has been 20 years. Of course, I assume all of you know about Avalon, and we started in 1997 when the narrative about Detroit was that Detroit was closed for business. And Ann Peralt, the co-founder of Avalon, and myself, we had a vision of starting a business that would eat well, that would do good and do well. And so we wanted to do a business that would really contribute towards the revitalization of Detroit, and also would be what we called at the time a triple bottom line business, or right livelihood business. So it was right livelihood, or right relationship with the earth, right relationship with the employees, and right relationship with the community. So at the time, people didn't even think a retail business could survive in Detroit, and not only did we know that it could survive and thrive, but we wanted to do it in a way that would hopefully model a different way of doing business in general. And what we found, much to our delight, was that there was not only a need for a bakery in Detroit, but there was such a pent-up demand that really Avalon, the Willis space, really did become kind of ground zero for many, many people for many, many years for the revitalization of Detroit. Now, of course, Cass Corridor is Midtown. We're just one of literally hundreds of business. Tens of thousands of new residents have come since we got there. Probably property values have increased probably 50 times since we got there. We are no longer paying $500 a month for our little cave over there. Progress is progress. So when we started, just a little story that kind of connects the whole thing is when we started, we found this space on Willis, and it was 2,000 square feet, and it had no windows. It had a plywood door, and there was very few businesses in the whole neighborhood, and one or two other businesses on the block. And we wanted to put windows in because we were going to be working there, and we hoped there would be retail traffic, but we didn't even know that for sure. We thought we would deliver to restaurants and a few stores, and we hoped slowly we would build a retail business. And so one of our neighbors had some leftover windows, and the insurance company paid him for them, so he just actually, I think, gave him for a few $100 the windows, and so we built it into the design. Well, when we told our landlord, we were paying $500 a month for rent, and we told him that we were going to put windows in, he said, "I don't think the neighborhood's ready for windows." And we said, "Well, what are they going to do? Take the oven?" I mean, we're like, it'll be fine. We need windows. Our employees need windows. Our customers are going to want windows. The neighborhood is officially ready for windows. And so, of course, since that time, needless to say, we've literally served, well over 1 million customers, and the neighborhood is very much ready for windows. Well, when we grew out of that space, probably really, quite frankly, about 10 years ago, but we didn't move here until about 4 years ago, and it was always our plan to have a little retail space. This is a food desert, much like Midtown was when it was a Cass Corridor. This is really a food desert. It's very hard to find fresh, affordable, healthy foods in this neighborhood. And so we wanted to have a place where we could have day-old overruns, but also some sandwiches so people could get a little lunch, and also we sell ingredients so that if people want to get, oats or flour or whatever, that they can also pick it up here. So I told a fellow business person who's been in the neighborhood for 4 generations, I told him what we were going to do, and he said, "I don't understand, how's that going to look?" Because there were no windows. And I said, "Well, we're just gonna get some windows. We're just gonna pop some windows in the sun. We're just cut out a hole." And he said, "I don't know if the neighborhood's ready for windows." And so at that moment, I knew we were definitely putting windows in. So we like a challenge. We love a challenge. And so we've been in that space for almost a year. It'll be a year in June, and this space for going on 4 years.
How's it going there?
It's great. I mean, to be perfectly honest, we haven't done a lot of marketing around it, and it's almost by design. It's really sweet to have a space that really is just people find out about word of mouth. Our employees, it's great for our employees because they didn't have a place to go for lunch. Now they can come out, there's a place they can sit, there's sunlight in the summer, we have tables outside, and slowly the retail business is definitely, I think people love a place that's out of the way, that's off the beaten track, and I think it's kind of nice to have a place that's not so slick, and it's just really very humble, and I feel like I love being in this neighborhood. I love looking at the pallet factory across the street. For me, it really feels very much like the roots of Avalon and the roots of Detroit. We're a hard-working industrial city, and all this, new fancy stuff, it's all fine, but Detroit, we're a working city, and so I love this neighborhood, and I feel like when people come here, they kind of get that, and so it's really really actually been quite delightful to be.
What about the restaurant side of it? How many restaurants do you supply?
I'll have to get Christina to get exact numbers, but we probably have upwards towards 100 markets, restaurants, cafes, and institutions that we deliver to sometime during the week. So some we deliver to every single day. We have 4 trucks that go out. We have an airport, little airport cafe in the B terminal at McNamara that opened November 15th. So that's our first delivery that goes out.
How's that doing?
That has to be there by 4:15.
How is that one?
It's great. It's excellent. Yeah, it's doing really, really nicely. And then of course the Ann Arbor Cafe and Kitchen opened December 15th. That has to be there at 5:30 in the morning. And then all of our our various other non-Avalon businesses. So we deliver to Willis as well because all the production's done here, and then it's delivered to Willis, and then we'll be delivering to the downtown space as well. So let's see. So that's kind of the stage. So we moved into this facility. We've been here for about 4 years. As you will see, there is almost unlimited capacity. So much so that we have 2 incubator businesses here that are not ours. One is called Riley's Ice Cream. It's an artisan ice cream business that he's doing great. He also makes cheese, but right now he's just doing ice cream. It's phenomenal. And then the other is Dilla's Delights, which is a donut shop that's down by across from Comerica Park. And he was a former employee for many, many years. He's part of our family, and he's making donuts every night and selling in this little storefront downtown. So it's kind of cool. It's becoming a little community. And you'll see when I'm taking you on a tour that we also have a commissary. So I'll switch over to this for a moment. So the cafe is, Woodward is here. So the idea of the cafe is sort of in between Willis, which is really just kind of counter side and just kind of incidental. You could sit down and grab something if you can find seats. And Ann Arbor, which is a full restaurant, that has a full kitchen and all that. This is sort of in between the two in terms of concepts. So when you come in, there's a counter which is kind of becoming iconic. Everywhere you go to Avalon, you're always going to see a wooden counter. You're going to see some stainless die-cut branding. This is Avalon International Breads. That's kind of everywhere we are. And then, of course, all our baked goods, piled up behind the counter. But behind that, there's a kitchen. And we're actually really excited that we're going to have our first pizza oven. So we're going to be making pizza there, which is going to be our chef Maggie is over there, and she has developed an amazing menu. And so we're going to have some really exciting pizzas. You guys will get to try them out at the media preview on June 13th. Yep. And so then there's a kitchen, but it's really not very big. And so we have a commissary here that we built that will be producing like anything we can make in advance. So like soups and stuff like that. Anything that can be prepped in advance will be made here. And then all of our grab and go items. Since downtown, a lot of the need that we were hearing from people is they need something that's relatively inexpensive and that's healthy. And that they can just grab, they can go in, get a cup of coffee and a muffin, and then grab lunch and maybe even grab dinner. And so it's very much set up for that. As you can see, when you walk in, there's a huge wall of coolers, and it's all grab and go food. Eventually, there'll also be cookie dough and ingredients and stuff like that. But right now, it's really gonna be focused on lunch and dinner. And then the other exciting thing is we also have beer and wine. So you can go there after work,
Woo.
you know, you get pizza, get pizza and beer, or you can grab some food for dinner and grab a 6-pack of beer or a bottle of wine. So that'll be really, really great. Then there's a wonderful coffee bar. We started a strategic partnership with an amazing coffee shop in Ann Arbor called Mighty Good. They are doing a phenomenal job, and they're working with us in all our locations. So you'll see now more and more in Avalon. When you go into an Avalon, we have some beautiful cappuccino machines and very well-trained baristas. And so we're, as the rest of the country is raising its coffee game, we were one of the first espresso machines in Detroit, and so we were really proud about that. But we were importing our beans from Seattle. We loved them. It was Cafe d'Arte. We absolutely loved it, but we recognized we really needed a local partner that could not only would have great beans and great product, but would also help to train our baristas and continue to train and elevate and educate our customers and our staff. And so we are very excited to be working with Mighty Good. They have direct relationships with farmers in Colombia and Costa Rica, and we're going to be doing a lot more education around that as the years go on. So you'll see a beautiful coffee bar with wonderful espresso machine, beer and wine back there, and then just very casual seating. So you'll order your food there, and then you'll get a number, and you'll sit down, and then your food will be brought to you. There'll be a lot of outdoor seating, which will be really wonderful, and there's just a lot of light. It's a very bright, kind of a very fresh take. It's a little different than Willis or Ann Arbor, but you'll definitely feel a lot of the consistency of the wood, the stainless, and the kind of down-to-earth feel that I feel like our business embodies. So that will be doing also a lot of catering out of there as well. There's a lot of demand for just very simple, not fussy catering for lunch meetings, breakfast meetings.
What's the open date again?
14th is our first day.
April 14th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.